Hi, this is Jenny Wilcox from Wilcox's Way, and I just kind of wanted to quickly go over with you a couple of Google Sheets resources that are going to come as part of your Circle STEM Challenge resource, and make sure that you're comfortable with what they can do for you and how to use them. So the first one is the pool checker. One of the challenges in trying to provide you all the resources you need on this is that I couldn't provide an answer key for much of what they did because every answer is different based on student work. So this spreadsheet here is meant to help you be able to quickly check all of students' answers with just entering a couple of numbers and not having to do all of those calculations. So if you look right here, I've got a few different tabs down at the bottom. This one is to find the surface area of the landing pool. And basically all I need to do is enter the pool diameter and the wall height. So let's say I've got a student paper and their pool diameter is 10 and their wall height is 7. And that, if you notice, is going to automatically enter over here. And I've got multiple lines, so I can just very quickly enter whatever data my students have done, and it is going to enter all that for me. So it should be super simple. On my next tab over, I've got one that does the cost of the landing pool. Again, all you have to do is enter the pool height and the diameter. This time, look at all that it does for you. It figures the surface area of the pool and the cost of the pool. It does the reduced version where it has the kids figure out if they could reduce their wall height and their diameter by 10%, what would be the volume and what would be the cost, and then their percent savings. And all of that, again, by just simply entering these two numbers for diameter and wall height. Okay. And then my last tab is the one that does the volume. Again, same thing as all of them. You just enter the diameter and wall height, does everything else for you. So then my next spreadsheet that I've got for you is a one to graph your data. And my hope here is that once your class graphs all of their successful attempts as well as their unsuccessful, that it will help them to maybe see a pattern about what was true about all of the successful attempts. Was there a certain wall height that you had to have? Was there a certain diameter that tended to work better? So if you look at this, again, you're going to be entering those same two numbers, diameter and wall height. So I'm going to be entering 6, 2. So be looking for a point right here. So as I enter 6 for my diameter and 2 for my wall height, notice it automatically populates the point and puts it in here. And then if I can go in here and classify, let's say that was a failure, and it labels that as a failure and it labels it over here. And I have these color coded so that you can quickly see, and if you want to sort, it's quick to pick out which were successful and which were not successful. I will say I struggled a little bit with whether to put fail on the ones that didn't work, but I decided maybe this was a good growth mindset way to remind kids that failure does have its purpose in life, and all of those failures taught you what you needed to know to be successful in this particular outcome. So this first tab is just meant to be an example so you can see how this is going to work, but you're going to enter yours on this one that says your class graph. Whoops. Yours will actually be completely blank at first. So actually when you get this, it's going to look like this. And once you start entering your data, then it will start populating it onto there. And you can kind of just have kids, you could have each group come into it, or you could have a student in charge of that. But it just continues to add points as you put them on here. And it will kind of, it would even, I think, change the size of the graph to accommodate your points. So like my X and Y axis are changing as my, as I need them to get bigger, it's updating. This allows you, I think, to go all the way up to entering 200 data points. Okay. Now, yours is going to come with only one tab for your class graph. I'm going to quickly show you how easy it is to add another one. Sometimes I like to enter all the data into one sheet so that we can get a better picture, but other times I like it to have separated out by my hours. So depending on what your needs are, if you don't want just one graph for the whole day. If you want a different one for every class period, what you're going to do is you're going to come down here and click on this little arrow, and it's going to bring up all these options. And if you will hit duplicate, it is going to make a copy of that. And so if I click over, here was the original, here's the copy. It's exactly the same. And if I'll just go through and delete out all this data, if I double click down here, I could rename this, and let's say this is my second hour data. And so you can now see I've gone through and I've created first hour and second hour. So it is very easy. And again, if you decide you don't want that, they're also pretty easy to delete and get back to this. So hopefully this will also be a helpful tool for your students to use. Really look for those patterns and see how the graph can help them to see what patterns were helpful among lots of data. This is helpful for your class.